So we already figured out that bishop f7 is definitely not dangerous, and let's see what's happening after bishop b3. A little bit tricky move, cause we have an option of playing d5, and why not d5? Looks like a very good move. We're planning to play somewhere bishop g7, make this pawn on d4 weak, and play e6 after, so it will look like a perfect French position. So why we don't play d5 is a strange but very strong move, knight h4. Right now white took two possible development squares from black bishop, and in order to develop our bishop of f8 we have to play somewhere e6, so it's not very simple to make a move. Right, pawn on d4 would be strong, and after we play e6 white plays knight f3. Yeah, white lost two tempos, but bishop on c8 is really ugly, and according to understanding of French pawn structures, knight on b6 is also not a very good one. With bishop on c8 it allows white to feel slightly better. So that's the reason after bishop b3 we have to take a pawn on e5. Of course white is not gonna take d takes e5, because after queen d1, king d1, or bishop d1, bishop f5, black would be fine. We're gonna be playing e6, develop bishops and have excellent pieces. It's the same after knight e5, because we just take, play queen d1, bishop d1, with a small difference that here we're trying to use this diagonal, as after bishop f5 white can play bishop f3 and make some pressure on black's queen side. So after bishop d7, knight c3, we just play bishop c6 followed by d6 and bishop b4, black is totally fine. So white has to play d5 here, pawn sacrifice, knight f5, and knight c3. Because knight e5 is not good after knight b3, queen d5. Black is just fine. We're pawn up and two bishops, so we're better. Knight c3, and kind of strange move in the opening, but f6, because this pawn on e5 is super strong. It controls very important square on d4 and allows us to leave some positional achievements for white in a price that we're pawn up. So here we play g6, because it's not very simple to promote pawn on e6, as this bishop on b3 is right now very strong, and there is no need to trade this bishop with our knight right now, because somewhere we will be able to play knight c4. So we play g6, and after castle bishop g7, white will have two continuations, d6 and bishop c5. Let's take a look what happens after bishop c5. We just play bishop f5, and our next move is gonna be rook c8 or knight c4 immediately, and we will try to cover this diagonal in order to make a castle. White has different possible moves. I think there is no need to go deeper in this position, just to know this setup, playing f6, g6, bishop g7 and bishop f5 would be enough. I will only show you rook e1, just knight b3, queen b3, rook c8, bishop e3 and knight c4. Simply covering this diagonal and preparing for a castle. So let's go ahead and see what happens if white plays here d6, which is not a very simple move.